I'm Phil Monkhouse, Realtor in Houston. I'm giving a market update today, not the normal ones I do, just looking at things a little differently. Going to start off this, I'm going to do Fort Bend and Houston at the same time. This is Fort Bend County. So this is the number of active listings on the markets, and this is 10 years of data. So you can see that it was approaching 5,000 listings. This would probably be in the winter months of the years. And then now we're about 3,500 active listings. So still not as many as 5 years ago. That's still below that, but we are creeping back up to normal. I wanted to point out too before I jump over to Houston that Fort Bend County is such a fast-growing county. So many new units of housing are coming onto the market, are being built and being put on the market that this number would actually be a bit lower probably if all those new housing units weren't created. But just because there's more units available, there's more units being listed. So, but still, we're creeping back up to normal, I guess you could say. Then over in Houston, we are much closer to normal already. Yeah, close to 8,000 units. And you can see it peaked out at a little over 8,000 units active listings a couple times over the last 10 years. So Fort Bend County is still a little bit more tight of a market than Houston in general in that regard. Yeah, let me jump over to months of inventory next. Inventory, typically in real estate, it's considered, if it's above 6 months, then it's a buyer's market. And if it's below 6 months, then it's a seller's market. And months of inventory means if nothing else came on the market, how long it would take for the market to clear. I tend to think I think it should be more, the definition should be under 4 months is a seller's market and above 4 months is a buyer's market. But anyway, we're still below, a little bit below 4 months, just to say. And in times past, it's been approaching 6 months in the winter months, I guess you could say. And this one peak here hit like 7 months or so, but that was short-lived. So still a little bit better than normal markets. You can see during the pandemic time how low it was. It was like 1 month of inventory. And then over in Houston, kind of matches the Fort Bend graph. 5.5 months a couple times and 6 months here. And we're kind of right back in normal. It's almost like a straight line across in this graph. So Houston, months of inventory, looks like about 4.5 months. That's where it is. All right, so next, days to sell. Just because months of inventory can be a little bit misleading because it can shows you all the homes that are on the market that are maybe overpriced and they're kind of pulling up the averages. So this is days to sell median. This is over the last 10 years again. Fort Bend County, it's only 25 days. So if you're priced right, you'll sell pretty quick. That's actually a drop of what's happened over the last couple of years. Well, the peaks anyway. But you can see how low again it was. This is about 5 days on market for homes to sell for median. And big difference, these were approaching 50 days on market. And then over in Houston, right now we're looking at about 22 days, I guess, 23 days on market before it sells as a median. And that's been declining too. And you notice the graphs for Houston and Fort Bend, they kind of, a lot of similarities in the two. And then the worst time periods in Houston were just over 30 days, typically with this one peak over here. So yeah, days, it's still like you're still going to sell your home fast, even though months of inventory is going up, as long as it's priced right and it's in the right condition and all that. So that's still going to happen for you. So this is the last section. This is prices over the last 10 years. Look, this is Fort Bend County. It's like no change from 2014. Well, actually more like 2015 when the market started cooling off back then, up until 2020, just like no change. There was a few ups and downs, but over the whole time period, just straight across. Then that big jump in 2021, and that's where we are. We're leveled out again in that range right there. So we're just like around 400,000 or so as a median sales price. Houston looks a little different. Houston it's kind of flat, but it was creeping up, and then it did the jump, and then it leveled out again. And Houston's about 350-ish, pulled back down a little bit, but about 350 for a median price. And I wanted to point out, so I was hoping for a price pullback. As time goes on, it seems more and more unlikely unless we hit, I don't know, a new situation that we're unaware of, like a recession or something unknown happens. But last thing I wanted to look at was this inflation calculator. This is just 2020 to 2024. 22% inflation over that time period. If you look at let's look at the Fort Bend graph again. 300,000 to 400,000, that's about 25%. I think I'm doing that right. Anyway, not a huge difference between the inflation rate and the house price rate. So it's just like the dollar is worth less. It's not like homes are really worth more. It's just the dollar is worth less. So it's almost like this is the new normal. Unless there's something big happens like a recession, I don't see a big price pullback. Everyone's hoping interest rates go down a little, so making the payments more affordable. But I do think this is like the new normal in pricing. We'll see if I'm right or if I'm proven wrong. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that kind of put things into perspective for some people. Anyway, thanks again. Have a great day.